Welcome to the Core Confidence Life Personal Development Podcast for Men. I am your host, Dennis, broadcasting to you here from New York City. On today's program, we've got a great conversation coming at you. And so you might want to keep track of us any way you can. So like us on Facebook and, of course, follow us on Twitter. If this is the first time you're on this page, don't forget to hit subscribe on your YouTube page because we've got a lot of content that you would love to hear. All right, so we are talking to Keith Sherman. He is a podcaster and he also runs a streaming service for independent musicians. And so we talk about those things. We do talk about his service and the type of music that is on there, how you can have your music featured on there as well. But we also get into a conversation about life, about politics, about relationships. And some of the things we cover is the relationship between men and women, how culture has changed. What is it about politics? You know, Joe Biden or Donald Trump? And so we just kind of go freestyle on a conversation, just two men talking about life and love and music. So you're going to want to stay tuned, kick back, roll it up, and let's go. Core Confidence Life. This episode was brought to you by Life Books for Kids. Life Books for Kids by Kenya Nicholas is a fun and spiritual book series that helps kids tap into their higher power to navigate through life. Basic life morals are delivered through age-appropriate humor, captivating illustrations, and real-life stories. This book helps families foster parent-child relationships through a variety of fun activities. To learn more about these groundbreaking books, just visit www.lifebooksforkids.net. That's www.lifebooksforkids.net.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, welcome to the program, and we are talking to Keith Sherman, and we're going to talk a lot about the platform he's using in the entertainment business, music and podcasts, and then we'll talk some more things that are going on in his life. What's going on, Keith?
How's it going, Dennis? You doing all right?
I'm doing well. So welcome to the program.
I'm glad to be here.
All right, so let's start off by talking about what are you doing now? Who is Keith? Who are you now? What are you doing today?
Well, I'm a project manager for a crowded music streaming platform. We're a platform for independent artists, independent podcasters, comedians, audio book readers. Or if you have anything audio, you can put it on our platform. And I'm a project manager. I oversee a small team to make sure we have the platform moving in a certain direction, in a positive direction. And I have a podcast on crowded music. It's a podcast. I interview podcasters and artists and other people of the entertainment industry. And I like my show. We have fun. We talk about, different topics and, we have fun.
All right. So this platform, let's dive into more of this platform. So talk to us about the artists you have on. What type of music do you usually feature? What are the main other kinds of entertainment other than music that you feature? What's up with that music?
Okay. So right now, is heavily leaning towards hip hop because that's just the culture that we started the platform in, and that's the first artist we kind of talked to. But we have some country artists on there. We have some EDM artists. We have some podcasts. We have a few shows from your podcast. We have a few podcasts on there. We have a few audio books. But so it's leaning towards hip hop right now is the type of content that we have, but we will accept any content, any genre. We have over 75 genres you can pick from when you add your music. So we'll take any genre. We also allow people to display their shows. So if you have a cartoon show or if you have a movie that you want to show on Crowded on our app, then we can show your movie on our homepage. I mean, we're really open to any media, honestly, and it's easy to sign up. All you have to do is go to our website, www.crowdedstreaming.com. Sign up. We'll send you a login so you can upload your media, and that's kind of where we at right now.
Okay. So any audio content. So that's music,
Right.
that's podcasts, audio drama,
Right.
talk shows, things like that. All right.
Anything.
So what inspired you to create this forum for pretty much all kinds of audio content?
Well, we created it specifically for independent artists and anyone with audio content. But we created it for people who don't have a financial backing. They don't have a large, record company behind them promoting their music. We made it really for the mom and pop people who maybe creating art is their second job. We made a platform for them to be promoted and for them to be put on the front line and to just promote them and let everyone know about their shows and their music and their books. So it's really for the underdogs. There's no one speaking for them right now. Spotify and other platforms have gotten too big to really care about people who are upcoming and people who, like I said, maybe do art as a second job or, they have to do it on the weekends or something like that. So we're really for that crowd and those people, the mom and pops of the art world.
So you're trying to give people a window to get themselves exposed because the big wigs aren't really hearing them right now because they haven't gotten to that level at that point. So you want to have a platform where people can be heard who are normally not heard very widely.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what got you to do this? Like, I'm sure, you coming up and you're thinking about your goals for the future. You probably have more than one interest. You could have been doing anything. So what really pushed you in this direction of having the streaming service and giving people that voice?
Well, it was a it was a selfish endeavor at first because I grew up in the era of I don't want to tell them myself, but I grew up in the area of LimeWire. I'll just say that word and people will understand what I mean. I grew up in that area, in that era, and I have all of this music, and I organized it. My closet is a mess, but my music files on my hard drive are perfectly labeled and everything is perfect. But I like organizing music. I love music from 1920s all the way up until music until now. But I like organizing music, and so I created a small platform for myself just so I can stream my own music on my own when I'm away from home. And a friend of mine got word of it. And he said, man, you can't keep this to yourself. You have to let everyone else put their music on there, and me being a music lover, I was cool with it. So we started allowing other people to add music to the platform, and then it just turned into a snowball. People just start putting everything on there, and we accept them with open arms. So
and so sounds we got a lot in common too with the music. So you say you like songs from the 20s all the way up till now.
Yeah.
And that's me too, because of my pop music show that I host. I like music from now all the way back to 20s. I think the earliest song we played on the Pop Top program, I think it was from 1909. I
Wow.
think it's the earliest one, but I have songs from like 1905 and stuff. And
Yeah.
the charts go back to 1890.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there's that. So right now you're primarily hip hop, but you have other genres on your streaming.
Yes. Yes, we have country is the next most populated genre. We have some EDM, we have some pop. But like I said, we would take any audio content that we'll make a category for you. We'll make a genre for you. We made a few genres for people who said that their music didn't fit in the genres that we had available. So we created a genre for them. So literally anything that you create, audio wise or even video wise, we can put you on our homepage, send it to us, and we'll play it for you and promote you at the same time for free.
Oh, all right. So let's talk about the other content too. Do you have any actual like audio dramas shows on your streamer?
No audio drama shows yet, but that genre, I wouldn't even know where to find the people to even invite them. But I would love to hear some audio drama shows and have some audio drama shows on the platform, but we don't have any currently.
Ah, well, lucky you ran into me then, huh?
Yeah.
And I'm just covering all the bases here. So for podcasts, do you have more than one podcast on there, and what kind are they?
They range from your podcast or Confidence Core Life. I have a podcast about naturists where they talk about walking around naked all day. I have a podcast about sports, podcast about general talk, podcast about music. We have quite a few on there.
Oh, all right, that's cool. So how do you arrange them? Because I used to, I've have experience with running different internet radio stations, and over the course of my time at some of these stations, questions come up about, when are we going to stay all music, or are we going to go for podcasts and talk shows? And if we do that, are we going to have them mixed, or are they going to have a particular time? So do you have a particular time, let's say from like 12 to 4, listen to the podcast, and 4 to 6, listen to music, or do you mix them all together?
Oh, well, it's on demand. So you choose what you want to listen to. So we're not like a radio, but it's on demand music like any other streaming platform. So, but we have the podcast category broken down into subgenres. So if you're a podcast about lifestyle, then when someone chooses a podcast about lifestyle, then your podcast will come up with the other lifestyle podcasts. Sports podcasts are broken up in their own section, and you can sort the podcast by the most listened to podcast, by the last added podcast, and so on and so forth.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay. How long has this been around?
Well, we just launched publicly in January, and we're already getting ahead of steam. But I've been working on it. I started working on it myself about 3 years ago, and it was just me working, just improving it, just for myself, trying to make my experience better. And then I've had a team for about 8 months.
Oh, all right. Oh, you got a team behind you now.
Yeah. We got people just joined along, man. They say you can't do it by yourself, man.
You got the Keith team, right? All right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So your podcast, the one that you do, what is that mainly focused on? Who do you normally interview on your podcast?
I like to interview other podcasters. I like to interview artists. Just anyone in the music industry, managers, promoters. I interview anyone that lives the music industry lifestyle, the travel lifestyle, stay up late, getting things done lifestyle. And just, I like to hear about different perspectives, because everyone outside of the music industry and outside of the streaming industry, they might have their own ideas or their I don't want to, I'm looking for a word to call it, but preconceived notions about the people in this industry. So I just want to put their stories out there so people can know that they're people too. Even though you're an artist, you're a person too. You stay up late and create your art, but I mean, you might have a family, you might, have 2 college degrees or whatever. I just want people to know the underneath level of artists.
Ah, cool. That's what's up. So, when you interview podcasters and artists, what are some of the more memorable interviews you've had? Have you interviewed anyone super famous or not? And then, what's some of the more interesting interviews you have come across briefly?
I say the most interesting is your podcast.
Are you just saying that?
And I'm not just saying that.
No,
I'm not just saying that. Now, honestly, the reason why is because you had an honest opinion about the current state of of our culture, like the Me Too movement. You gave me an honest opinion. You didn't just come out and take one side and be too biased about it. So you are not afraid of open dialogue, I could tell. So that's what made it interesting. I can have a conversation, about touchy subjects, and you weren't afraid to discuss them. That's what made yours the most interesting, honestly. Most famous, and I mean, like I said, we just launched in January, so you might be too young to know who this person is, but we interviewed Grandmaster D from the group Houdini.
How old do you think I look?
I don't know, maybe 30 or so.
Do you think I look like I'm 30?
About 32, maybe.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Young guy.
Mind you, okay, viewers, I did not pay him for that compliment. I did not pay him to say that my interview was the most interesting. But I am older than I am in my 40s, bro.
Okay, all right. So you know who Houdini is.
I know about Houdini and so forth.
Yeah. So we interviewed Grandmaster D, man. We interviewed another music industry person from Brooklyn. He had a hit in the 80s. He was one of the first people to be on vinyl, Abu Velour. He was in a group of Velour and Double O. And so I would say the most famous person was Grandmaster D. Yeah.
And how long ago I know you've been around since January, so obviously that's this year then, right?
Yeah, it was a few months ago. But like I said, we're just starting off, but Grandmaster D and really every interviewee we appreciate, because I mean, you take time out of your day, take time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk to us for 45 minutes to an hour. We really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. And I know I've interviewed some old school people too, like not too long ago, we interviewed Robert Cool Bell. So
okay,
Cool in the Gang. So
okay, yeah. So you know how it is then. You learn about their history, of the music.
Absolutely. So that's what's up. So you mentioned talking about topics that people are normally afraid to talk about. So have you had, now this is not me trying to toot my own horn here, but have you had anybody else to come on and really talk about issues, not necessarily related to music or entertainment, but just talk about issues?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say talk, they touch on issues. And I think for the most part, and, I hope, they don't get upset, but I think for the most part, they say whatever the current culture is saying, the masses are saying. They agree with the masses because, of course, you don't want to get, and it's sad that they have to do that, but they don't want to get, exiled. So you can't really have a stance on something that goes against the grain in this industry, because they are quick to cancel. The cancel culture is, quick to cancel people. So,
Yeah.
they have to watch their step when they talk. So,
Well, I guess it depends on what industry you're part of.
yeah.
I'm not part of the music industry per se.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my podcast and my company or whatever is created by me. So, speaking of all that, what do you think are the issues that people are afraid to talk about? What are the issues that people stay away from in your experience?
Politics. What else? Their real views on the dynamic between men and women. Their real views on how they feel about, simple things about their fans, how they feel about, their music and other people's music. Just, the hot topics, things like that.
The hot topics. All
Yeah.
right. Well, let's see what's so for you say you enjoy open dialogue, so you're willing to speak your truth as well as people you'd like to interview?
Right. But the only thing is, I have to speak from my personal,
Absolutely.
position. I can't speak for crowd of streaming or crowd of music. I can't speak for them, for the platform. But, I give my personal 2 cents. But the thing is, I don't ask questions, to them, because I understand that I can't put them in a certain position. You know what I mean? So I just ask questions, and I ask an open question. They give me what they can, and then, we move on from there. But, I understand sometimes there's more that they want to say.
Well, okay. Well, that's cool. So in these things that you mentioned, people don't want to talk about politics. They don't want to talk about relations with men and women and like things that relate directly to them, like their fans or things like that.
Mhm.
So what is the deal with that? So what do you think about the dynamics between men and women? What do you see as some of the challenges that men and women face with each other or within themselves?
Well, I mean, it's just, the climate that we're in right now. Everything is changing. I think the roles are changing. And it could be something as simple as that, just to acknowledge that the roles may be changing between men and women. And I think some people just want to remain, I guess, guys don't want to admit that the roles may be changing a little bit. The dynamics may be changing, but I think the roles is different from 1988. It's different from 1998. It's really different from 2008 right now. Women are fighting for equality. Financially, they're fighting for equality in relationships. So, I mean, you have to acknowledge it. You can't just push their movement away and not, talk about it.
All right. Well, so since you mentioned these time brackets, what do you feel are some of the biggest changes between maybe 30, 40 years ago, like you're talking about, and today?
Yeah. I think guys, we had traditional roles then. It was the guy goes out and work and 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 bring back home the bacon, so to say. And then the woman stay home pregnant, watching after the kids and blah, blah, blah. But nowadays, if as guys, and I'm just speaking for me, but as guys, if you need your woman to work and to bring home a salary and to, go out there and go out in the world and get bacon like you can't keep to me, you can't keep the traditional roles as the guy is the super dominant person and whatever they say goes, and that's the end of it. Because if you're asking for help from someone else, then their position or their say should increase with the amount of help they give. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the roles of women going out, more women working and earning a salary and contributing to the financial well-being of the house is something that you feel has changed over these number of decades until now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm cool with it, but I think we'll have less conflict if more people were cool with it. I was watching the show last week, and the guy he was upset that his woman made 3 times more money than he made. I guess it was an ego thing, but I mean, just think about those positions. Let's just give it a roundabout number. Let's say he made 50 and she made 150. So you would rather not have 200,000 coming into the household and go and grab a woman that's making only 30, just so you can have 80,000 coming in the household. That's 120,000 different, just so you can remain like super dominant and controlling the lady. I don't think that's a good idea. You know what I mean? To me.
Yeah.
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 You got to give up some of that control,
Yeah. So for you, just as an individual, what do you feel? Here's a two-part question here. What do you feel makes a man? What is a man to you and manhood? And then what is a man's role in the home now that these things have changed?
Well, I think the man should still lead the family, of course. And the man should go out and, still get the bread, the bacon, bring home the bacon. But the man should lead the family toward a future. You should be leading the family somewhere positive, leading them to safety, leading them to a more prosperous position in the future. So I think the man could lead in that way, but you have to acknowledge, when whatever contribution the woman is giving, even if she's at home, a homemaker, and she's watching the kids, you have to not acknowledge the fact that she's working too. She's helping you accomplish your goals. So you have to lead, the family, but still acknowledge and appreciate the different parts of the family who's helping you achieve that goal.
Mm-hmm. All right. And just in general, not necessarily specific to the home, but just in general, in your opinion, what do you think makes a strong man or someone who's rooted in their manhood?
Just confidence, leading by example, doing the hard work, just, taking care of his family, and just trying to, strive and bring his family to another level. And I mean, it's really simple for me. It's not a long list, but as long as you're confident, you're taking care of your family, you're trying to move your family up to another level, whether it's spiritually, financially, whatever. As long as you're leading your family and you're taking them to a positive place, and I mean, you're a man to me.
Wow. Okay. So, as far as male-female relations, what else do you think has changed? Has dating changed? Has sex changed between men and women? Like, what other things do you think have changed?
I haven't, I date my wife, but I haven't dated it, in the last few years. So I don't know how it is now.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's to me, and this is me shooting from the hip. I don't know. But it seems like everything moved online, it's like you don't have to, the vetting process is skewed now to me. Because before we had the internet and the social media sites, you could really watch this person. You can listen to how they speak. You can watch them and how they treat other people. You can really observe each other in real life and in real time before you make a decision to get involved with someone. But now it's like people can hide behind a shell and they can just a facade, let's say that, and they can just show you what they want you to see, and you might believe the presentation, but the actual person might be a little different. So I think the vetting process might be a little more difficult.
It's different. So do you think that's a bad thing that we now kind of live our lives online and we do video chat and things like that? Is that a bad thing, or do you think that's good?
No, I think it's good. To me, online forums and online chats and Zoom calls and face-to-face things and Twitter, like people really say what's on their mind, on those types of platforms. But a platform where you can just display something like with no context, like maybe Facebook or something like that, or Instagram, then you might get skewed there. But I think video conferencing and like I said, Twitter. I think you get a lot more truth from Twitter and a face-to-face meeting than compared to those other platforms.
Yeah. So for you, coming up in your life, what do you think has been some of your challenges that you're willing to talk about on the air? Just maybe challenges in life or challenges from a perspective of being a man or anything in between?
I would say that, and let me just say this first. I wouldn't change anything about my life because, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy about the pitfalls I had. I'm happy about the wins I had because I wouldn't be who I am and where I am today without. Okay, let me say that first. But I think starting off, like after high school, I call that starting off. And really in high school, I would say I didn't pursue my dreams as soon as I could have, because I was trying to fit into a box. I wanted to be, I want to work in a certain career just because that's what I thought I should do with a person that had the skills that I had. I'm good in science and math, so I figured I should work in a career that uses science and math, like maybe the medical field or maybe in engineering or something like that. But I'm glad I'm pursuing my dreams now, and I'm happy in my position now. But I wish I would have started pursuing my dreams a lot earlier and just said forget what everyone else thinks.
Okay. All right. Have you faced any other challenges that you're willing to talk about?
Some challenges. Challenges just in my life.
Yeah, just in your life. I mean, everyone's got challenges, so you can only speak from your own challenges. So yeah.
I went through challenges, but I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't call them challenges. I would just call them, the learning process. I've been through living in an apartment, with couldn't pay the rent, didn't have a job, eating Dorito sandwiches. For the people who don't know, that's putting a handful of Doritos in between 2 slices of bread and drinking water. So, and I guess that was just from me not knowing which direction I wanted to go in, in college at the time, I did get my degree, but, it took a little longer than normal, but, I accomplished those goals, but I always thought that will fulfill me, but it didn't. When I started pursuing the thoughts that I had in my head and the dreams that I had in my head, that's when I started reaching the fulfillment. So,
yeah. So have you ever, because a lot of men, sometimes we go through our lives and we confront different issues that maybe take a blow to our confidence and so forth. So have you ever had times where you were a little bit low on your confidence or self-esteem? And if so, how did you return to a good level?
I mean, I felt my first semester in college, I got the lowest GPA possible, uh, just because I got a 0.33. I didn't go to class, but I was kicked out of the university, and I really felt low at that point. Um, but I bounced back. I had to go sit up and ask people to let me in, and I had to do certain things, jump through hoops. Um, End up having to work a job 40 hours a week and then go to school full time, taking 15 hours a semester. I fought my way back. Um, and so, I mean, that was my low point when I didn't have any rent money. I was kicked out of school. I was in a city that I wasn't from, just trying to make it and hustle. And, I got to the point where I'm at uh, just by using those moments as fuel, like just saying I don't want to go back to that position, so I'm just pushing as far away from that position as I can.
What keeps you going every day? What keeps you going every day when you're feeling a little low? What keeps you up when you need to feel motivated? What keeps you going every day?
Just my family, my wife, my daughter, but just the unknown, the possibilities of where you could take uh, something that you and your team have created, the possibilities of where you could take it, I don't have a problem feeling my way around in the dark because, like I said, I've been in tough situations. So not having the resources or having to, work, do more with less, I feel perfectly comfortable in that situation. And just the unknown, the possibilities, that's what keep me going. 138th, 139th Street, Stravers Road. That's what keeps me going.
You got a future goal going on there, I see.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I see that. Well, that is what's up. What do you see for yourself other than 138th Street? What do you see for yourself in the future?
Just being around my family, growing my family. Maybe, I don't know. We have one daughter. We may go to 2, 3,
2, 3, 4, 7, 9,
I don't know.
12.
We'll see. But
have 10 people named Keith like George Foreman did. You have 5 Keiths.
Just just being comfortable in life and just being able to wake up and see my daughter, see my wife, and just be happy with the work we did yesterday and be excited for tomorrow. That's where I see myself in 5 years. And, employing, as far as the platform, just employing people who were maybe written off and people who are maybe going down the wrong path because someone told them they had to go down that path. Just employing people like that and having those people join the team and let them know that you can work on something that's that's bigger than me and you and everyone else.
All right. And so another thing you mentioned earlier when you said that there are people who are afraid to talk about certain topics, you also mentioned politics. So what of that? What do you think about the state of the politics today? Are you a voter? And I might as well go ahead and ask, if you are a voter, like, who do you think should be in the Oval Office?
I mean, to be honest, I don't know if we should even have a presidential office. Maybe we should just have a committee, because I think people are putting too much power into that office. I understand if the person's called a president and blah, 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 but we still have a Congress. We still have a Senate. We still have a local government, So there's people that we could really be fighting and more to support and fighting and people we don't even know their names that we might want to get out of office or might want to put in office just in our local government alone. So, I am a voter. I haven't voted yet. I'm still waiting on someone to say something good. But I think we should focus on the local government and not on the highest office in the land.
Well, yeah, you're talking about something quite interesting. Is that in the presidential elections get a lot of attention, and then people complain about who the president is and what he did and things like that, but they don't even know their own the mayor of their city, or they don't even
Right.
and even less, they don't even know their own city councilman.
Right. Exactly.
So I definitely understand and agree that it's okay to vote for the president. The president is important in certain areas, but if you want change to come to your neighborhood, it's good to know your local officials, your local city council people, even your state assemblyman people, and your mayor and things, because the mayor in most places, they're the ones that pick, to bring up a topic, they're the ones that appoint police commissioners.
Exactly.
So you want control, you want improvement in those local areas, you want to deal with something having to do with the police, you need to pay attention to the local area. You need to understand that most cities, the mayor controls the police department. In some cities, the mayor controls the schools. And if you want action, and action now, as everyone claims they want, that is where to start.
Yep. I mean, you have to. And, like you said, the mayor picks those people. But, I mean, those elections, maybe a couple 100,000 people show up, but we have 30-something million people showing up, for the presidential election. I mean, and then again, just to add another layer to it, and I hope I don't get any backlash about this, but we need to think about us too. We can't blame our environment on Donald Trump. Oh, did I say it? Sorry. We can't blame my environment. We can't blame my environment on Joe Biden. They are trying to achieve their own goals, right? What are your goals? What is your plan to get yourself to a better situation? Because it doesn't matter who's elected. I guarantee you, your life is not going to change that much. It's just not. I've been through, I don't know how many presidents, and my life really didn't change until I changed my own life. And the presidents didn't even know what was going on during that time. So think about you on a personal level and just trying to make your environment better, trying to move up in some kind of way, spiritually, mentally, financially, move ahead and not sit on the side of the road and wait for Donald Trump to do something for you or wait for Joe Biden to do something for you. Because they're not. They're in a limousine and they're going to pass you up on the side of the road and probably splash some water in your face and keep going. Think about that.
Yeah, definitely. And so speaking of that, what do you think people can do to start improving their own situation? Like, what are some tips if people are feeling a little low, or maybe they're financially in distress, or maybe they're mentally and spiritually distressed, or anything like that? What would you say to someone to get started in getting control of their own lives?
The first thing you have to do, to me, and this is what helped me, I just started appreciating the stuff that I had. It might not have been the best, might not have been the newest car, but I had a car. It might not have been the best shoes, but I had shoes, I had clothes, I had something to eat. Just appreciating what you have, period. And sometimes that might be enough. You might look around and say, you know what, I do have a nice house. It's not a 50 bedroom, 2 elevator house, but I mean, I like it. It's a roof over my head. I have food, I have water, I have AC. So the first thing you got to do is just appreciate what you have. And then once you get to that point, then you can start, moving in a certain direction. What do you want to do? Do you want to help people? Do you just want to help yourself? Do you want to, bring your family to a certain level? What are your goals? Set some goals, and then just go out and achieve those goals. All right. Don't walk, run.
Yeah, that was called walk, don't run. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Run, don't walk. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Wow. Okay. So I agree with you, and I'm pretty sure if people would stop and think about it, they would agree too. It's better to focus on yourself, and then if you really are concerned with what's going on in society, you start locally.
Mhm.
But what do you actually think of Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
I mean, oh man, let me put the logo down before I say this. But
You got to be careful because you
yeah,
never know what I'm going to pick up on.
yeah. But to me, honestly, they're the same person to me because they don't look like me. So, you know, Donald Trump is a guy that's striving to remain a president. He achieved you know, I won't even say the highest level in the land. He just achieved and got to a coveted position. And Joe Biden is trying to get to that coveted position. Trump has been around, has been a millionaire since the 80s. I mean, if he wanted to do something good for people, he could have been did something good for people. Joe Biden has been in politics for 40 years. I keep hearing that word. If he wanted to do something good for people, he would have done something good for people. So again, they're the same person to me. So it's kind of like any, meeny, miny, mo, really.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, what would you say to people? Because I know you stream independent artists, and now you've interviewed a lot of people. So, what would you say if somebody wanted to start getting into the music business or the entertainment business or whatever? They're just starting out and whatever. Just based on your knowledge and the people you've interviewed, what would you say their first step should be?
I mean, it just depends on what you want to do. Now, I do want to put this out there. There are other things you can do besides being the person on the front line, right? Besides being an actual artist, you can be a manager. You can be an engineer, sound engineer. You could be I mean, if you really just want to be around music and involved, you can build a studio. You might not even be good at creating music, but you will be in the music industry. You could be a promoter. You could, I don't know, just anything. But just find out what you really want to do. Don't just think that in front of the camera and being the person taking all the photos and singing the songs and rapping the songs or whatever. You don't have to be that person. There's 100 jobs outside of that. So.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, just firing off questions here. So, if you, and you will one day probably, if you have a son, what are some of the values you would teach him as growing up as a young man in this society?
Just be just work hard. Don't say much. Don't brag too much. I'll use the quote. Always say less than you know, and always have more than what you show. And just treat people right and do the right thing. That's it.
Wow. God, that reminds me of a quote. I just saw that today. I'm gonna try to repeat it. I hope I don't butcher it, but I think the idea might come through. Something about a man who talks a lot will get no one to listen, but a man who talks less will get listened to more. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's true.
Yeah,
My
the talk
grandfather
less,
used,
do more.
yeah, my grandfather used to say, the less you say, the more you know.
Yeah, yeah. And just bringing it back into the urban sphere. They always say those who are quiet are the freakiest, or those who are quiet are the craziest. Be afraid be afraid of the ones that aren't saying anything.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So once again, let's tell everyone how to get in touch with you or find out more about your music platform, and maybe somebody will be inspired to put together an acting skit to put on your streaming service.
Okay. You can contact us by going to www.crowdedstreaming.com. just sign up and sign up for the website. And we'll send an email to you and asking if you're an artist or just a fan. And then you click on that, make a choice, and then we'll lead you to the spot you need to go to get your login information. You can find us on Facebook at Crowded Streaming. Let's see, you can find us on Twitter at Crowded Streaming. Let's see here, and you can email your music directly or email your skits or whatever you have, any audio content. If you just want us to check it out, you can email us at crowdedmusicshare@gmail.com. And we do pay for streams, so I don't want you to think you're just giving your music away. Now we're not on the on the high, we're not paying the highest right now, but I mean we do pay. But most importantly, we appreciate every person that's on our platform, and we promote every person that's on our platform. Promotion is free for us. You message us on any social media platform, we'll repost, we'll post, we'll do anything we can to make sure that your content is has a light shined on it.
Right. And before we close,
sorry, one last thing.
Sure.
To add, on our platform, you can listen to content with other people. That's why we're called crowded. You can build your own crowd. Let's say you want to listen to a platform with you and your family. All of you can listen to the same podcast at the same time and comment and share ideas simultaneously. So you can go live with music. You can go live with podcasts. I almost forgot that part.
All right. So before we close, I'm going to do a little thing. I just thought of it, doing it right now, spontaneously. A little bit of random wisdom. Random wisdom used to be a column I wrote a long time ago. So right now, if you can give someone a piece of information or piece of advice or tip about any topic, it could be music, it could be marriage, it could be sex, it could be children, it could be politics, it could be Joe Biden, whatever tip you have on any topic in the world, what's one piece of advice you'd give?
Just be the least talking person in the room and be the hardest working person in the room. That's
the
it.
Least talking person and the hardest working person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Keith, thank you for coming on the podcast. We definitely appreciate your knowledge and your willingness to speak openly about these topics.
Mm-hmm. No problem. And I appreciate you, Dennis. Thank you for having me. And, look forward to coming back. And I appreciate you promoting our platform and fighting the good fight by, talking to us everyday people and asking us about, how we feel about certain topics.
That's right. Well, we definitely would have you back. And I always look forward, I'm sure as you do, of staying black.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
That's right. Thank you for coming on the show.
All right. No problem.
If you'd like to be a guest on the Core Confidence Life podcast, just fill out our application by going to coreconfidencelife.com/guest. That's coreconfidencelife.com/guest. We appreciate you and all your feedback. So to give us comments about the podcast or anything else, just send a message to Dennis at coreconfidencelife.com. That's Dennis at coreconfidencelife.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all the social media outlets, of course, at Core Confidence Life. I'm your host, Dennis, from New York City, giving you higher consciousness, lower stress, hard-hitting manhood issues with just a side of cornball humor.